Morning everybody. Hello. Hope you're all here with me for another Come Cook Along with Claire. I have moved positions today to get a little bit of natural light from my kitchen window because we've all woken up down our street with no power today, which is a bit of a nightmare. I've got just enough power left on my phone and I've got loads of data. So we're absolutely fine. We can just get through this next 20 minutes. We'll all be okay. So I'm not going to be able to cook mine, but I can certainly leave you cooking yours. Okay, everybody, we are all starting to get online, get ready for some Saturday morning cooking. While I'm waiting for a few more people to get on, I just need to say hello to my neighbour's little girl, Bee. She was cooking last week. She can't cook this morning with us because she's got no power on her mum's phone, so she'll be doing it later. So morning, Bee. Hope you enjoy the mini omelettes that we're going to make today. I say a little hello to Callum, who's not quite out of bed yet, but his mum's assured me he's going to do this later on. So, utensils and equipment that we need. You need to switch your oven on at 200 degrees, so it's preheated. So I'll let you all go and do that because I can't do mine because it's electric oven. So 200 degrees on your oven, which I think is about 160, 170. 3 or 4, sorry, on your gas. Forgetting where I am. Okay, so we need the simple jug, a whisk, any size whisk that you've got, a rolling pin, a school ruler. We need a muffin tray, whether you've got a silicone one or the normal metal ones. Okay, whichever one you've got is absolutely fine. Just need some basic utensils, an unsharp knife, a spoon and a fork, and a pair of scissors. If you have any measuring spoons, if you go for the 1/4 cup measuring spoon, that can be for your cream. Okay, a cheese grater if you've got one, and a baking tray. Because before we start any of this, whether you've got the metal muffin tray or the silicone ones, which I do personally prefer, you need to put it on your baking tray. So if you all do that now, so that gives you a nice bit of stability when that's going in and out of the oven. Otherwise, all your omelettes are going to go like that and pour all over the bottom of your oven, which your mums won't be very happy about, and you'll lose half your muffins. So on the baking tray, and then pop that at the back of your workstation. Food that we need: 2 slices of bread, whether it's thick, thin, seeded, white, whatever you've got indoors, doesn't matter. 2 of those. 2 eggs already out the fridge, so you've got them ready. We need cherry tomatoes if you've got them, or a whole tomato, either is fine. Got some double cream, single cream, soy cream, whichever one you've got. If you haven't got any cream, a little bit of milk is just fine. You need some little bit of cheese, not a lot of cheese at all needed. Any ham, whether it's pork ham, chicken ham, beef ham, whichever one you've got is fine. Or if you're not using it at all. If you have bacon as well, we just have 1 rasher of bacon, and we're going to use that at the top of your muffin, your omelette. And basil, dried or fresh or none at all, whichever you prefer. Okay, so that's everything we need. So hopefully everything's out on your work surface, all ready to go, which makes the whole process of cooking a lot easier. So, washing hands. Now, I'm going to reluctantly wash mine in freezing cold water. Give them a good wash, everybody. Don't be afraid of the soap. Sing your little song. Give everything a clean, and then rinse in nice warm water for you. Not for me, it's freezing cold. I'm going to use the dishwasher today, not wash up, when it comes back on. Okay, so here we go. Your oven's on, all your utensils are out, and we're all ready to go. So, start off with our jug. You're going to add your milk or cream to this. So pour it all open. You're looking for 50 millilitres. So if you're using the jug, you're looking for the side that's got 1000 ml, probably can't see that, on the top of the jug. Now, most of them only go down to 100 mils. So you're looking at about half. It really doesn't matter. It is only an estimate. This isn't a precise amount that you need. So measure to half, or if you have the 1/4 of a cup, that is 60 mils. So pour your cream or your milk into just before the top, and then you'll get about the right amount that you need. So in that goes just a tiny bit, save that for later. Pour that into your jug. All done, get rid of that, won't need that anymore. Eggs. Now if your eggs have just come out the fridge, then we need a good bash on the side of your jug, because the shell is going to be cold. If yours sit outside already, they'll be nice and easy. Now, children, when you crack an egg, this is no different to touching raw meat. So no hands near our mouth, no hands spreading any cross-contamination anywhere else. As soon as we've cracked these, you're going to be washing your hands straight away. So 2 eggs in, nice crack on the side. Don't worry if any shell goes inside, because we can retrieve that shortly. Set that to one side. Number 2 egg, big crack on the side. Pull the egg apart and let the whole egg go in. Now, if you've managed to let a little bit of eggshell slip in, use the whole egg that you've got left and just find your little bit of eggshell, and that will, the eggshell is sharp enough to cut through the little bit of egg that's in there, and you'll retrieve out your eggshell. You don't want any of the eggshells in there, because that would be really hard on our teeth later on. So as I've said, you've just touched something that's no different to touching raw meat. So another quick hand wash. Get all of that off your hands, so you're all safe and you're all clean. Okay. Right, next job. With your whisk, you can have a massive whisk like this, you can have a tiny little one, anything you like, or a fork if you haven't got a whisk. And use your muscles and give that a really good whisk about. Really, in you go, mixing it all around, and what you're ending up with, if you can see that on mine, is what just looks like a thick cream. That's perfect. Now at this stage, if you want to, you can add a little bit of seasoning. And what seasoning is salt and pepper. Just a tiny little sprinkle of either if you want to. I'm not going to add any into mine today. Put these to one side, preferably away from the edge, because you don't want it falling off. So right at the back or a different workstation you can put it on, so it's nice and safe while we move on to the next stage, which is our bread. So 2 humble slices of bread and your rolling pin. Now you're going to gently just roll these out like it's a piece of pastry, just to flatten it a little bit. Now all this is doing is helping when we push it into the muffin case, it doesn't crack. Sorry, did I lose you then? So I don't know where I lost you there, but you're gently rolling your slice of bread just to flatten it, so when it goes into your muffin tray, the bread doesn't split. And if you haven't got a rolling pin, but you've got strong hands, you can just push down on your bread. Get yourself out of breath. So we didn't have PE with Joe today, so this is the little bit of exercise that you might get. Use your hand to flatten it, or use your rolling pin. Okay, so we've got 2 flat slices of bread. If you're making this for more than one person, obviously you just double it, treble it, or by 4s. Okay. School ruler, non-sharp knife. Now I want you to measure in centimetres, 9 centimetres across your bread, okay? So if you just come in a bit from the crusts on one side, and it'll take you just in from the crust on the other side. So you're going across that way, and then you measure top to bottom. 9 centimetres again. Okay, so you're making a mark on each slice of bread. So you can see, now we can use a cookie cutter if you've got one that big, but it's not quite as fun as making you measure with your ruler. Now, the little bits, so I've made a mark here, a mark here, a mark here, and a mark at the bottom. So 4 marks I've made. So you get your pair of scissors and you just cut around those in a circle shape, all the way round. So you have circle piece of bread. Okay, leave that to one side. Don't throw these away. I'm going to use them later. Now back on your other piece of bread, make sure it's nice and flat. 9 centimetres on your ruler from top to bottom. Make a mark. Side to side, 9 centimetres, make a mark. So you've got 4 little cuts in your piece of bread. Using your scissors, if you're very young, be careful because these are no difference to a knife. Cut all the way round in a nice circle shape around your 4 little cuts. So you've got something that resembles 2 circles. Okay. Now keep these pieces of bread, put them in a little sandwich bag or whatever you've got, and then pop them in the freezer because another day we will make those into breadcrumbs. And we don't want to waste anything, do we? Of course we don't. So the ruler can go away. You've got your 2 pieces of bread. You've got your muffin tray. So you're going to, see if you can see this, push your piece of bread into the muffin tray. Now, if you've used a rolling pin, you can use that rolling pin just to push it in so it takes shape. Use your hands. So this is just no different to using pastry. If you've cut a piece of pastry out and you're going to fill it to make a quiche or something, but we're using bread. So you're pushing it down. You see that? I'm just using my hands and my fingers there to push it right down so it's nice and secure inside your muffin tray. Okay, so I'll wait for everybody to catch up with that. So even if you've got it on your tin one, pushes in the same way. They're all pretty much a standard size. Or into this one. Make sure it's nice and secure. No cracks in it. If you've managed to tear it a little bit, just take a piece from the leftovers you've got, cut a piece off and just push it into it. It's very forgiving, bread and pastry. Okay, next job, our ham. So we take our ham, any ham you can get hold of, 2 slices. Some of these might already be the perfect circle size, especially if you're using the chicken ones, or it's pretty much a piece of square. Now if yours is a large piece of ham, again, just do your 9 centimetres, exactly the same as we did the bread, then cut it around. But if you've got one this sort of size, they will just easily, just slot inside your bread, okay? They go almost a bit of a flower shape, the way the edges crease up all around the side. That's absolutely fine. So when we pour our egg mixture in, we're just going to pull that apart a little bit to push it down. So you want this back on a flat surface. You want your ham nicely secured in, best you can, to have a little space so you can pour your egg mixture in. I've ripped my ham, so that doesn't matter. It's all still going to go in, so I'm going to push mine back in again. Okay, back to our jug. Just give it another little whisk round, just to make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom, nice and creamy. You're going to gently, very carefully make sure your baking tray's got your muffin tin on it, because this is the point where you can't go back. Right, pour half a mixture into each muffin tray. So you're going on top of the ham, and then all of the egg mix will sit inside the bread. Okay, on both ones. Don't worry if you've got some left, don't overfill them. Just let it sink in a little bit. Top it up a little bit on both ones. So that should, I can bring this one up to you and you can see that. See, they're just filled to the top, okay? Make sure it stays on the tray. If you've got leftover egg, we don't want to waste it. So if you've got another extra bit of bread that you've got there that you can quickly put in, or just put it in the muffin case. See, look, that's going to give me three and a half. Right, waste not, want not. Okay, put that away. Next thing is the cheese. So any bit of cheese you've got, it can be feta cheese, cheddar cheese, Baby Bell, brie, Camembert, anything you want at all. Okay, I've just got a bit of cheddar cheese. So children, graters, just like knives, very, very sharp, so you need to be careful. Now on your grater, if you've got the really small thin side, that's the better one to use on this. So you just want a small chunk of cheese, being really careful not to catch any skin or fingernails into your grater, because you don't want that added into your muffin. That will not add extra flavour at all. Right, there we go, that's grated. Voila, push that to one side. So just take a little handful of cheese and scatter it on top of your egg mixture inside your ham. Okay, we've probably grated too much cheese, but we can just pop it back in your cheese bag. So cover them nicely, whichever ones you've got there. If you've got 2, 3 or 4, nice covering, nice and full up. And they will really, really will crisp up lovely when they come out of the oven. Okay. Got any leftover cheese? More so now than ever, we're not wasting a single thing. In actual fact, you can mix any leftover cheese you've got, put in, unless you need it, put in with those scraps of bread that we had earlier. We're going to freeze all that, and that will make cheesy breadcrumbs later on, and that'll be lovely. Tomato. I'll give mine a quick rinse. Give yours a rinse if you haven't done already. So if you've got a cherry tomato, you can slice it into 3. If you've got a whole one like this, you'll probably get 5 or 6 out of it. I find the best knife to use is a bread knife. Any little children, let your mums do this one or your dads do this one. But any older ones or adults, feel free to cut the tomato yourself. So, you just nice thin strips. I'm going to do 4 because I've got 4 bits of muffin there. Omelette rather. And they just sit on top of your cheese. Now if you've got a whole tomato, it would be the perfect size. If you've got a little cherry tomato, just slice it 3 ways. So you'll get 3 nice little slices, and you can probably add 2 to the top of your omelette. So you see that? That's sitting nicely on the top. Okay, basil. Dried basil, fresh basil. If you've got fresh basil, just tear off 2 or 3 leaves and lay that on top of your tomato. If not, just take a little sprinkling of the basil out. Now, what I say to a lot of the children that come here and we do some cookery classes is never pour that straight on top of your muffin, your omelette, sorry, on your omelette or in anything else, because if you put too many spices or herbs in your dish, you can't take them out, but you can always add them in. So on my hand, I've got a little bit of basil, and I'm just going to sprinkle that just a little tiny bit, just to give it a nice little flavour. I love basil. Basil and tomatoes. Always reminds you of summer in Italy. Okay, that's all sprinkled on. That's lovely. Keep any of these leftover bits. If you have bacon, cut open your bacon. You only want 1 rasher. Probably won't even use the full amount. You don't have to do this extra bit because we've already added ham to it. So what we can do is a bit of bacon that we've got, the end bit that goes all nice and crispy when you toast it. Use that little bit. And if you just chop it up, a pair of scissors is brilliant to chop bacon up with. Just chop it up into chunky chunks, which is my favourite word. Chunky chunks. Now you are touching raw meat, so until we've finished and washed our hands, don't touch anything else. So with your little cut up pieces of bacon, sprinkle that over the top of your tomato. Okay. And those little pieces will just go all lovely and crispy. Such a tiny amount of bacon. It's great for using up leftovers, these omelettes. Whatever you've got, you just chuck it all in. Oh wow, that bleep has just made everybody in the house extremely happy because it's the power just come back on. Okay, wash your hands again because we've just touched raw meat and we don't want to be spreading that anywhere else. So a good hand wash. Literally I can hear people screaming with joy upstairs that the Wi-Fi's back on. Okay, let's move that back over there. So I'm still not going to be able to put mine in the oven because it's just been switched on, which means my oven isn't going to be hot, but yours is. So on your baking tray is your muffin case and your mini omelettes, and they look absolutely amazing. If yours look anything like this, they're going to be delicious. So in the oven they go. So pop those on your top shelf. Just move mine out of the way. Pop those on the top shelf of the oven. 200 degrees, what did I say, gas mark 6? Oh, I'm sorry, I must get that one right. And you want to set your timer for 20 minutes, okay? But after 15, you're going to get a little bit of a close eye on them. They don't take long to cook, but you do need to make sure that they're not runny inside because you don't want to eat the raw egg. So you're popping those in the oven, you're setting your timer for 20 minutes. Fab, okay. Now, we need to have a little tidy up. So once you've come back, you need to gather up any leftover food. So your scraps of bread and cheese in the freezer, your cheese back in the fridge, along with your cream and ham or bacon. Wrap it up, pop it all away. I'm going to do mine, I'm going to completely out of shot. I'll come back, I won't know where I am. Okay. Any dirty utensils that you've used, all good, your grater. So now we need to wash up, very important. It's all fun and games cooking, but we really must clear up as well, as it's just not fair on leaving it for your mums to do. So I'm going to do a nice, oh, I might get some hot water now. A nice bit of washing up here. So, did you see the picture that I put on yesterday? Okay, of the Eat Well guide. You'll probably see this bouncing around in schools and various places. Let me see if I can show you what it is. Okay, so the picture I put on yesterday, you'll probably be familiar with this. So what this is, it's showing you what your plate should look like. i.e., you should have a portion of vegetables, carbohydrates, dairy of some description, and protein. So if you've been looking at this, you'll see different options that you can use to have something in your meal. So today we've used carbohydrate bread. We've actually used egg and ham, which is 2 lots of protein that's gone into ours. We've used a bit of cream, which is your dairy, and we've used a tomato, which is your vegetable. So we have created a well-balanced brunch today. So the bread is your carbohydrate, the tomato was your vegetable, the cream was your dairy, and there was 2 proteins, which was your ham or bacon and the eggs. So it's a well-balanced brunch that we've got today. You'll be firing on all cylinders when you go outside for your daily exercise that you're allowed at the moment, which I hope we're all doing. It does make you feel good that you've been out, you've burnt a bit of calories, you've done some cooking, you've washed up, so you've been productive. You may be doing this for your parents, so you're spending nice time doing things with your parents. You're up and out of bed, you've made your bed, hopefully children, tidied your bedroom. All of the favourite things that us mums like you to do. So wash up all your utensils, all the little bits that you've used, so it doesn't look like anyone's been in the kitchen at all. Then with your dishcloth, wring it out nicely, them in there, that water is freezing, and just wipe it all nice and clean, work surfaces all wiped down. Another one of the favourite things that us mums like, all nice and clean. Dry your hands and we're done. So all you need to wait is probably what, about another 15 minutes. Just check they're not runny in the middle. They shouldn't be because they're very small. It should be perfectly cooked. Your bacon will be crispy, your cheese would have melted and gone a little bit burnt. It'll be lovely. So just wait for them to cool down for a few minutes before you take them out and enjoy them. Have one for yourself and then share the other ones. So next week on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, we're going to be making toad in the holes. You may have noticed a theme going on with the toad in the hole and the grasshopper pie next week. They're not real ones and they're not being taken out of the garden. We're actually going to be making these. You need sausages, a little bit of bacon, some milk, some flour and egg and rosemary if you have any, okay? And something to cook your toad in the hole with, and this will make an absolutely delicious lunch or dinner. So thank you for joining me again. I hope that this was a little bit better than last time. I'm trying to relax a little bit, and I really look forward to seeing you all next Wednesday. Any questions, please send them to me. Any requests, or you want me to say hello to anybody, no problem, just send me a message or post on here so I know you're there. Thanks very much. Bye.